But okay, let's just get into Trump's 5 worst moments. We're going to do a blind rating. Okay, we don't have much time. We got to stay on the grind. Trump blind rating. I want to share with you one of the craziest things that blew my mind. I'm going to just go right for the crazy stuff. Not even a month ago, Trump is on the stage, talking to his supporters, talking to all the thousands of fans that are there, not a small crowd at all.
Right.
And he starts fantasizing and reminiscing about Arnold Palmer. And starts
lemonade.
And starts. I wish it was just. I wish it was just the what do they call it? The Sunjoy. Sunjoy. I wish it was just the Sunjoy. He starts getting specific, and says that when you saw him in the locker room, you knew he was a man. And what Trump's face is very just reminiscent with joy. So I just want, and we're gonna play the video. Play the video.
But Arnold Palmer was all man. And I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it.
Okay, all right. Okay. Hey, honestly,
so your thoughts?
If we're going based off now out of context, I might have put that a little bit higher. Based off of watching the video, I'm gonna put that out of 5.
Really?
Because it made me laugh, and it was clearly making him laugh too. And let's be honest.
Oh boy.
We have all wanted to be praised for the pipe game that we've got.
Wait, hold up. This man is dead. Arnold Palmer's daughter took great offense to that. Yeah. But it's just not. It's just, look, you got to think, like we were just saying, you are the leader of the free world.
He was.
Former. Okay, sorry. Former leader, and you're trying to get back in that office, right?
Right.
You need to have a certain, there is a standard. Just like for pastors there's a standard, for principals there's a standard, for teachers there's a standard.
Right.
You don't want to be making those kind of statements, because he wasn't joking. He wasn't. No. You can see his face. That man was not. He was really like when he came out of that shower. And I'm guessing all of them were probably not covered.
Because I'm something like 6 guys walking out like, hey man, Arnold Palmer packing, bro. Arnold Palmer got my whole
I don't
large.
think that is now this. And just to be clear, this video is not trying to sway you or dissuade you from voting for Trump. That's not what I'm trying to do. But still, these are not good looks. Yeah, to me, that's not a good look at all.
It's not a good look.
If Christian was living or dead, and for some odd reason I saw you in the show, it wouldn't be the greatest thing for me to reminisce about. There's nothing else to reminisce about?
I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't. So I'm still going to put that.
Christian is ranking that at the bottom. Blind ranking here.
Because if we're talking about what I hold politicians to,
yeah, it's
what they do or say about the country.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Like there are times where I see Kamala's face when she's doing like during the debate where she had that like snarky face on there. I hate that face. I hate everything about what that face represents. And people are like, "Ooh, get him, girl." Ooh, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, like that's again similar as this. We don't want somebody mouthing off about men's penises online as the leader of the free world. I also don't want somebody who thinks that when they're up, their character will truly show, and you get those snarky faces and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I would say that's not a good look. I would say that if I were talking about, I would say there's something for him to talk about. I wouldn't put Arnold Palmer's penis out there.
Thank you.
But I'm still gonna put it. I'm still gonna put it at the bottom.
Right at the bottom.
Because it's still funny. I'm sure he will get into some. With the next 4.
Okay. So the next one is a big one politically. Now, I didn't rank these in order of giving. I just, as I was, coming up brainstorming. Just recently, not even by the time this drops, a few days ago, he has a rally, I believe Madison Square Garden, and he had a comedian there, multiple comedians and people speaking, saying some very offensive things about people. For example, the comedian Tony Hinchcliffe is the name. He's getting some ridicule because why you'd have a comedian at a rally, not sure.
I agree.
But that's already kind of worst moment. But this comedian made multiple jokes, but 2 that stuck out to me as extremely offensive. One, he said Puerto Rico is an island of garbage.
there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay.
Right. That's wrong.
Okay, like
I think we all agree. I think.
And then the other one, he said he has a comedian now, but an old black friend. Oh, we were over at his Halloween party and we were carving watermelons.
All right, heck yeah, it's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
You know, and it's
funny. It's funny here. Right. It's not funny at a rally.
So for Trump to approve, not for any bozo, please don't even comment and act like he didn't approve of that. Trump knew who these people. Yeah, and Trump, he loves comedy. Trump's got jokes, like we just said with the Arnold Palmer thing. And to me, that's not funny. But I mean, it's funny. But it anyway. So he approved of this man to come, and other people too said some pretty egregious things. But my point of where do we want to rank this on the worst is because for years now, about almost 10, they've labeled Trump a racist, labeled him as, oh, you just say stuff that's so hurtful. So in my humble opinion, which I think you'd agree with, then I would try to ensure that people know I'm not racist, because that is a pretty serious offense. I wouldn't want a leader that's a staunch racist. Right. I've seen that in the 60s, 70s, all the decades of staunch racist leaders who want to oppress people for no reason besides the color of their skin. Right. So I think Trump did not look good here. This is a worse moment because he had someone there saying jokes that are just not, like, for what?
Right. Yeah.
There's other things. Diss Kamala. Make jokes about her. And not about her race, but about just how not the best she has been. I'll just put it that way. So where do you rank that?
So you see why I'm glad I put penis at number 5. Because now, obviously, we laughed at it. It's a funny joke. Do I think that it should have been at a rally? No, because I don't see what purpose it would have served.
I don't get it.
To have said it there, right? Did we get an opportunity to see Trump's reaction to him, or is it kind of
Trump's reaction to him? Because he did speak after. Trump gave the great, as he does, all the long speech. I don't mean great as in I liked it. I just mean great as in it was momentous. And and he delivered for at least an hour or something like that.
Somebody said there was a comedian that joked about Puerto Rico or something, and I have no idea who he was. Never saw him, never heard of him, and don't want to hear of him. But I have no idea. They put a comedian in, which everybody does. You throw comedians in. You don't vet them and go crazy. It's nobody's fault. But somebody said some bad things. Now, what they've done is taken somebody that has nothing to do with the party, has nothing to do with us, said something, and they try and make a big deal. But I don't know who it is. I don't even know who put him in.
But he didn't really respond to it. It's not like he said, hey, y'all, I didn't know he was going to come out and say that. I apologize, which would have been the political correct thing to do. But no.
But we're talking about...
It was basically approval of what the comedian said. It was basically approval. Because if you don't shoot it down, just like me and you, if you don't speak against evil, the silence is violence, as some people say. And on one hand, it's not true. Okay. So where do you rank that? Do you already have us at 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is having this comedian...
So I guess what we're doing right now, I guess for this one, it would be are we saying because Trump didn't admonish this guy? Because that's not, I wouldn't consider that a Trump moment. I would consider that a MAGA moment. I wouldn't necessarily.
But it's a Trump rally. It's not a MAGA rally. It's a Trump.
They're one and the same.
Of course.
Right.
Exactly. That's my point. So it's like, this is his rally. He wants your vote. So he decided, let me get these comedians to say these things. And I didn't know the exact script of what this comedian was going to say, but I didn't come out and immediately denounce it. Just like he didn't denounce white supremacy in the other debate with Grandpa Joe. You know what I'm saying?
I'd like to think that Trump gave the mic to the comedian, went probably, I'm assuming he stood 4 or 5 steps back or something like that, and just kind of, wow, I'm really good at this, right? He's not, I'm sure, I'm pretty sure if you were to watch the video, and mind you, I don't know, if you were to watch the video and see how did Trump come up right at the end of the comedian being over?
I think other people spoke, and then Tucker Carlson spoke, somebody else. Other people spoke and said some.
So it was a group, and then he came on.
And then Trump, so it was like them hyping him up. Here's your man, he's coming, but before he comes, let me.
So I will put that out of 4, only because it would be hard for anybody to pick out You know, like if the comedian went up, then Trump went up, and then Tucker Carlson went up, then Trump. Like if Trump was like the MC, that would have been something. But I figured probably by the time he got up there, I don't think Trump remembers 3-4 minutes ago.
And that's probably part of the problem.
I mean, this is also probably why we should stop. I don't even want to say old whites. I wanted to say old.
Oh, yeah.
We should probably stop putting old people in office.
But we haven't had any experience with an old black president or an old Latino. We haven't. Obama was not what anyone would really consider old.
Right.
80 is old.
80s.
By multiple definitions.
I would say 60 is too old to run a country.
Well, I would agree with you. But I'm saying in terms of what we have now, Biden and Trump.
It's crazy that we're watching this unfold.
That's the United States of Walker.
It's wild. So I'm still going to put that at a 4. I could be wrong. I might be upset about this.
You are going to be upset with me because the next ones are,
Are they not as good?
Well, no. I mean, this one to me is very significant.
I put 5 as the lowest.
Yeah. No, so, number 1 is the most egregious.
Yeah, okay.
That's supposed to be his worst moment. Now, like we said, it may not be political. It might just be whatever. I just jumbled this up, right?
All right, let's see.
So don't be upset with me. In the only debate between Trump and Cammie, he says the Haitian immigrants are eating the dogs and eating
I
the cats.
I would probably put that at a 2.
Whoa.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Break that down.
The reason why, and this is plain simple, this is not necessarily something that needs a lot of information.
It doesn't. I'm with you.
This is pure prejudice. I would say the remark itself is racist. I still take that.
Okay.
I still don't add him as a racist, but it was a racist remark. I'm sure he was given that by somebody.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure he was like, oh, nations eating dogs. That sounds like a problem.
Well, and that's it.
Like America's pet lovers.
And that's why, his VP is almost scarier than him, as a lot of people agree, J.D. Vance, because J.D. Vance admitted, which I love his honesty,
right. He fabricated that story, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think he whispered in Trump's ear or whatever the case, but he literally said, hey, we got to get the people riled up. We got to give people what they want. So we said it. I mean, he admitted that it's false.
The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely letting Kamala Harris coast.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you created. So the eating dogs and cats thing is not accurate. Dana.
If you look at, I think they said that you need some 33% of the country to win the vote, right? Okay. It's not a 50-50 because that's not how that works.
No.
So I think some 33% of people win the vote. And if we're looking at who probably voted for Trump, chances are it's those people who would hear, oh, Haitians eating dogs. Yeah, how dare they? Immigrant family is over here killing people at this apartment complex, blah, 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 blah. Somebody who, when he goes out and says these things, chances are the people who are voting for Trump are fact-checking Trump as much as Trump is checking Trump.
You think?
And that's probably nothing. They're probably never doing it.
I don't think they're fact-checking.
I don't think they're fact-checking. That's what I'm saying. Trump, I don't think fact-checks what he says.
Exactly, and his fans don't either. That's what you're saying.
Right, is what I'm saying. The people that are voting for him probably hear him and say, to the point, oh, he's the president, I'm going to take it at face value. Where it's ironic that Shapiro said, don't take everything that he said at face value, because you're absolutely right. But I put that one up there only because it was rhetoric.
And then that is when, and this is only worst 2024 moments, by the way. This is not going back years, but just for this quick little bit, because when he said, a lot of the immigrants, this was years ago, are coming from bleep hole countries.
Right.
That's what many would consider, and I would, a racist remark. It is. Because what makes it bleep hole? Oh, the people are poor and stuff, but then that still relates. Are they white? No. He wouldn't say that about any European country, that's a bleep hole country. He wouldn't.
Well, to be fair, there are some countries.
Oh, absolutely, but you wouldn't consider
France
them that.
Is one.
Hey.
Have the French won a war?
But that doesn't mean they're a bleep hole country.
Means they're
That's not what Trump. Look at you doing what the comedian.
No, okay. No. So again, I don't think that. I think that the whole country comment again is inflammatory. I think it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Right. I think, and I was explaining this to somebody about how when I listen to like some white people speak, right, they'll be right, but the way some white people speak is very
And that
they're snarky.
Just for that, real quick, and that's why I gotta diss conservatives,
right?
In many ways, because a lot of the times I'm gonna keep it real. My girl Candy O,
Candy be spitting, bro.
And she looked pretty good.
Can we go back to the video 3 years ago?
We should cut it back.
I'm telling you,
I'm telling you. That, yeah.
Candy, you asked me if I would take Candy. I absolutely would, because she said what she say when she was up there giving the speech. The girl was like, what do you have to say? I believe that, your comments are transphobic, blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay.
That's a statement. I made a statement. Next. That's
girl, I was like,
that's gangster. Yeah. So, but I will, give that to you. I mean, yeah, historically, white people have been wrong in many things, but when they're right, they're right. When anybody's right, you're right.
They colonize the world.
Come at me like, you can't come at me all snarky and how a lot of this, like the Kamala Sark face. It's like, that's not how you deliver a message.
And that's how, and that frame is how like Fox News delivers it. It's how these people are like that, that holier than thou kind of mentality where it's like, you can speak to something that you feel is wrong. Like for me, it's veganism, right? Personally, and it's not because I think veganism is just like inherently this flawed thing.
Yeah.
I just love steak. I love meat. Man. I love red meat, steak, chicken, fish.
Of course.
I like this shit too much to be like, yeah, I would give it up.
Yeah.
Am I going to sit here and say, well, I think that vegans are wrong in the head?
Right.
No. I'm going to sit here and say that there's a mental illness because people choose to not eat meat?
Sure.
No, I'm not going to say that. I will say that, hey, I don't agree with how you're going about it, and maybe these are the reasons why.
Yeah.
And you've got these people that are like, yeah, I'm telling you, this is why Trump is going to be the president. He goes up there, I love our troops, and, well, this is why Kamala's not. Yeah, because in some nitpicky they say, it's the way that they go about it. And that's where the whole country comes from, where he's saying, like, I know what he's saying, but the fact that he and that phrased it in that way is concerning only because those people that are not fact checking him, or those people are going to be the same people that are going to repeat country.
Yeah.
And it's not what it is. It's they're poor, they're impoverished, they're oppressed, they're going through all of these things.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have called England the whole country when we decided to leave it.
And that's what I don't like about, we look at America's origins, and we were going way off topic here, so we got to get back.
Right.
But of very, very aggressive violence to free us. But anytime black people want to burn down some stuff over somebody getting murdered, oh, it's so violent. I'm like, we were born into violence.
Fair. I'll give it.
I'm not saying it's right. No, and I'm not saying
because we're not. Right.
That is not wise. It isn't, and historically it is. But if you try to use the argument, oh, it's just so violent. Why are you so angry? Y'all, white talkers, you were very aggressive, with them taxing you and stuff like that. And they shouldn't have been taxing y'all like that, but they just started swinging on some Brits. Like, I ain't paying that tax, knock you out.
And then we're going to go to a whole other country.
Go to a whole other country.
And then
next. So right now,
I'm giving that a 2.
And I haven't really, well, the penis thing, I would have ranked it higher. But anyway,
I wouldn't have ranked
5 at the bottom, Arnold Palmer. 4, Tony Hinchcliffe, comedian at the rally. 2, eating the cats, eating the dogs. Now, I'm going to say one that I personally feel is more important. I'm just going to give you one. There was an attractive black woman that he met at like a Chick-fil-A or something like that. And, they engaged or something, and she just hyped him up and stuff. So he brought her to a rally a few months ago and said, she's so beautiful, I wouldn't go back home to the first lady. And I would just...
This one is so smart, so sharp. She grabbed me. She gave me a kiss. I said, I think I'm never going back home to the First Lady.
You were supposed to keep that quiet.
See, now, for the average politician, that's death. For me, I don't care.
And for me, as a man that is strongly against cheating, as you know, I just don't even feel jokes like that should be made by the former president when you're trying to represent morality.
You're trying to represent
the other party doesn't. And you're trying to
100%.
represent family.
100%.
And just the previous episode, hopefully you watch it with Minister G. Snow, where it's like, oh, Trump is the one that is for the nuclear family, but then you're saying you don't want to go home to your wife, even as a joke.
Right.
Our jokes matter. That's why they hate Chappelle so much, even though his jokes are amazing. Oh, I'll get canceled for that. But yeah. So your thoughts. So we already. I think I know you're going to rank this, but your thoughts. You're already at 2, 4, and 5, so I know.
It's tough. It's really tough.
I know you're putting it.
Only because we as a people still claim Bill Clinton. But
look at how Bill handled that. He's a liar, but look at how he handled it.
Have sexual relations.
But look at he didn't come out bold and be like, yeah, man, I really am your first black president. I'm glad about what I did. Yeah, I own up to it. What's up?
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair. I'll give you that. I don't think that. I think that I do think it's wrong. Yeah. Right. And honestly, I might put this at a 1. Right, and I'll tell you why.
I'm scared to what's coming.
No, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I'll eat this. Right, because we've seen these. We've seen a almost like outbreak of, hey, I'm taking my girl to an Usher show, or the whole Keke Palmer thing, right? Whatever it is, right? Or there was one time when Aisha Curry was on, I think it was The View or whatever, and the Old Spice dude came out, and I think he was shirtless. Okay. And Aisha Curry, like, fake took her ring off and like put it in her pocket. I don't fuck with that. Personally, I genuinely, I have been on both sides of the aisle. Okay. Right. But to go out and wantonly say that,
the cameras on you
to the public,
millions of
now, because we're looking at it and going, I think that first and foremost, whether or not it's done as consistently as we would like it to, the responsibility of the husband is to respect the wife, to prop her up, to make her be this, right? If you're going on the world stage,
and he is.
It's not like he's a mayor.
Right. And still wouldn't be a good look.
It wouldn't be a good look, but
20, 30 people.
Whatever. Your constituents. Okay. Yeah. But when you're going out to the world and telling the world that I would leave my wife for this person, that's why I'm putting that up there, because not only it meant to see the president say that, but what that did mean to the idea of the nuclear family. Literally. What that did mean to relational equity.
And I'm a history man. When you look at his history of not being able to be faithful to a single wife, he was not faithful to any. So it's like...
He's also very rich.
That doesn't mean... Hold on. So you're equating wealth to cheating?
No, I'm equating options and opportunity.
Right, but you're still saying, well, to now I have options to cheat on my wife. Of course, options, but you don't have to walk through. He walked through those.
He
options.
doesn't. I'm
and
with
then
you.
Some of them was fine.
I'm not saying cheating is right.
I know you're not.
Both sides of the aisle. Both sides.
You're being like Chris Rock, but hey, I understand.
But I understand. Okay, and again, I'm not saying it's right. Yeah. I'm not at all saying it's right, which is why I put it at number 1.
You did. No, because I love that you did.
Putting it out into the world, I think, is the problem. Yeah. Right? It's the same thing with like how I prefer like my woman to dress a little bit more conservatively. Let's just say, for instance, you end up on the world stage. How do you want yourself presented? Very true. Very true. To do that to your wife, to do that to a mother of your children, I'm sure he has more, and to do that to the first lady, to do that on the open stage, the world stage, to do that as a formerly of the United States of America, I think that was an extremely poor taste. Yeah. Because it's one thing for him to say what he believes, right, which is what he did. I wouldn't go home, blah blah blah. Yeah. But another thing to put down your woman on the world stage.
Even as a joke, it's not.
Even as a joke, it's never
things. Okay. I don't care what comedian says. I'll joke about anything. There's certain things they don't joke about.
Big R, don't joke about it. Big C, don't joke about it.
Look at that.
Honestly, I'm sure there's more to it than that. But
some main things,
some of those things, it's not funny. No matter, don't care if you're a 12-year-old in a Call of Duty lobby.
Exactly.
It's not funny, and that's that's one of those things that I put up there. All right. So.
We already have 1, 2, 4, 5.
Let's see
now, because this one for me was the ultimate no. This one to me is the most egregious. He told a group of Christians at a rally, some for specifically Christians, you won't have to vote again. And he said it multiple times.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
And I literally am someone that hates things being taken out of context. So people do it with the Bible all the time. Right. I'm always like, read the whole book to get the full context. So I watched Trump's full speech in that space. And there was no reason for him to say, my dear Christians, you never have to vote again. I think, for me, that's the only one. I kind of agree with the rest of the ranking, but that one, to me, that's the number one, because you're in a democracy. You're in a place where you're supposed to be represented by certain, you're supposed to have a voice, and you're telling me, even me, who I would like a theocracy, I would love a Jesus, but it's like, but I'm supposed to be able to vote here. Now you're telling me I won't have to vote again?
Correct.
In any context, even because people tried to argue, oh, well, he means that it'll be so great. I'm like, no, I want to vote.
Right, which is, it's
my grandpa almost died for it. Right. So your thoughts?
It's a valid response to say, because he did say, we're going to have it fixed so well.
See, that doesn't sound good.
Okay, but when we're talking about fixing, right, we can look at it like, oh, the fight was fixed, or hey, let's fix these streets, right? Now,
Trump, I don't know.
I think if I'm mad that the ranking was there, because I think that's worse than
the wife.
No. I think it's worse than the. I don't think it's that. Than the whole countries.
Okay.
Only
but I
because,
didn't even put bleep whole country, because that's from like 20.
What was?
So here's our ranking so far. 5 is penis. 4 is having comedian Tony Hinchcliffe at the rally.
Right.
3 is now you have to put it at won't vote anymore. 2 is eating the cats, eating the dogs.
Right.
And 1 is you put never going home to the first.
I think it's worse than the cats and the dogs. I still don't think it's worse than flaming your woman out.
Okay.
Like that's just me, right? Because if I'm looking at it from somebody who, I guess at some point wanted a family.
Yeah.
Right. Who wanted this idea of me and my ride or die and my kids.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to expect from you loyalty when I'm telling the world, which how embarrassing would that be to be Melania?
Yeah, Melania.
To be that, and this is how I don't know if I can follow this. How embarrassed would you have, like that level of embarrassment? So for yourself, you may not have felt embarrassed, but what he did to his wife is why I put that as one.
I still agree.
That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad, because it is sound like he's saying that we're going to adjust, or we're going to change what our definition of democracy is.
And based on, like I said, bleep whole countries from years back, we do have to take people's remarks from what they said in the past. Other stuff he said, even I'd just be a dictator on day one. You can't say that.
You can't. You
can't. Not here. Now, if you're in Germany or in Europe, many European countries where fascism
everywhere
was
that's not America.
Literally everywhere. It's still the best place to be. So I'm like, you can say that. Oh, no, it's going to even write it in the news. But here, this is the one place. You don't need to mention anything except democracy.
It's crazy, though. To be fair, though, guess what? They voted him in. So if we look at it and go,
and he still look at his poll numbers.
Right. Why would, if it were me, right, how you were saying before, like, you know, the route that you would take to try and adjust some of these things, right? Have you ever heard, like, the concept of oh, well, if they're going to make me out to be this monster, well, then I'll be the monster.
Yeah, but that's not.
It's not how you should operate as a president.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, right? Or, oh man, the leader of this company is so goddamn frugal and he sucks and blah, blah, blah. And then he comes in and goes, all right, well, you know what? Since you guys think I'm frugal, you know, everybody's hours getting cut, blah, blah, blah.
But that's not logical.
That's not the way that we should, anybody should go about it. I think that him saying that is a problem, for sure.
Yeah.
If, again, this is what we're talking about, the whole stand back and stand by thing. I don't think the man's in his complete faculties that what he said and what he meant married up.
And I think that's why many people wouldn't vote for him.
Right. And
because you do have Kamala, younger, I'd say more attractive, and you have different things where it'd be like, yeah, I'll just take her then.
Right.
If I have to do lesser of two evils, which is trash, but I'm going to go, which is not valid at all. Right. But Trump, you gotta be careful. If he just watched his mouth, look at how close it is now.
Right.
Look.
But that's what I'm saying.
Now.
I would rather be what was it, J. Cole? Who said would you rather be underheard or overrated?
Oof, I don't know.
Right, it was something along those lines. But as it stands, right, let's play devil's advocate and argue the only reason why it's as close as it is because of what he's saying.
Well, absolutely.
If he said less, people might actually not vote for Trump.
But I'm not saying he could say less. I'm saying if he watched what he said and was more strategic.
Say different.
Look, Christian, this was the easiest election for Trump to win. It was easier than Biden because, like you said, she was just thrown in the middle. If he had just stuck to the facts,
right.
What has your VP done in her duties? I'm not saying she had to save the world,
right.
But in her duties as the borders are not. What has she? Was she successful?
Correct.
And you look at my track record. Was I successful? I rest my case. I mean, that's just simple logic.
I'll give you that.
I fear that, like you said, his faculties are not there, which is a valid reason to not vote for someone.
Correct.
And then the unpredictability is like, what is he going to say today?
Yeah,
is he going to offend my grandma in Puerto Rico? Because they think I'm Puerto Rican, as I've said for 4 years of the show now. Is he going to say bleep whole countries? And I might give him the Haitian baddie.
Right.
And I don't want her to be upset about that. Right?
I can't go to America with you because that would suck.
The Haitian baddies are looking really good. But anyway, that's the ranking because we have to get to the next one. So that's Christian's ranking. You see it here. Yeah, I think it'll be here. I'll put it in the middle there. I'll comment your thoughts on that. Christian, you did what you had to do.
I appreciate it.
And I'm getting ready for the next one. So continue to like, subscribe, comment, share, and let's get ready for dropping soon Kamala's 5 worst moments. I know what you're thinking, friends. I want to watch more of his videos. Well, that's a beautiful thing. We've got this video here, which is one of my favorites. I promise you, you won't regret watching it. We also have this playlist if you just want to dive deep into what we do, or this video here, which is groundbreaking, or you can click this if you plan to subscribe, which I hope you do. So thank you for watching, folks. We've got a lot of content just for you. Hope you enjoy.